Hello, I wanted to share a few things with you. This is Lafithakus, also known as Gorgeous Stray, Andre Taylor. And my Hebrew name is Lafithakus, and as I said to you in the prior video, is that when I release these videos, uh, I'll use the name Lafithakus. We're evolving. Anyway, I wanted to share something with you that was quite profound. And let me start like this. I'll go to my website, gorgeousstraight.com, and this product I have on there. There's a documentary that I did called Master the Game. It's an audio book I have that's called Nothing But Pimpin' Memoirs, which is, memoirs of my life and what I went through to get to where I'm at today. And, the information that I used to be successful as I transitioned from the game to where I'm at today. And I also have a book, The Road to Paradise, that I wrote. So there's interviews on there, and there's a lot of other things interesting on there. So gorgeousstraight.com. Go in there and enjoy yourself and support some of the products. Anyway, I had this dream maybe 5 days ago. And Yah, is so awesome because he uses, natural situations to convey a spiritual revelation. And in this dream, there was this lady, and she was into sports in school. Maybe she was in high school, and she was into track and field, and she received a full scholarship to a very prestigious university. And so she went to this university, and she graduated. And upon her graduation, her status in life allowed her, to be connected to, living a certain particular type of lifestyle amongst a lot of white people. And she felt like she had achieved some of her goals and her objectives in life, to be in that place where we see a lot of people that are quote unquote successful white people, how they live and where they live. And so she ended up having two beautiful little girls. And because of her status, she placed the two little girls, of course, in some prestigious schools. And they were going to school, and they fit in with all the white kids, Edomite kids. And she felt like she had, accomplished her objective. She graduated, she got a good job, she was able to place her two girls in these wonderful schools, and she fit in with, with white people, at those schools. And y'all was showing me, but there is a great problem with the thought process of how she thinks, because that's all she was taught to think growing up in this country, in America. She was indoctrinated to believe that the highest achievement for us as as Hebrew people, black people, is to be able to reach the level of white people, as far as where they live, as far as having some of the things that they have, and being in certain surroundings and environments. This was the highest, aspiration of us as a people, and why that is such a major problem. Yah said that she and her two children are special, and not only special, but superior. And let me break that down to you, how he explained it to me. He said the problem is that she was comparing her life to white people's lives, right? So because she was comparing herself to how white people lived, her aspirations were to be where they're at, right? So that her children can fit in. But Yah was saying, my desire is not for you just to fit in, you see. My desire is for you to understand how special you are. you can't compare yourself to white people, Edomite people, is because you didn't go the way that they went to get into position that they're in. They killed off a lot of the Indians. They enslaved black people. They created wars all over the world to place themselves in the positions that they're in. Okay? So you don't have, your story is not relative to theirs. They are there because of what they've done to get there. Now, if you are there, you have to have a comparisons not to their people, but to your people and the condition that your people came up out of. Of course, you were enslaved and are and were oppressed, and all the things of this country are, you're considered second rate, So what Yah was saying is that she needed to compare herself to her own people. Why? So that she could see how special she is in the place that she's at. Let me say it again. So that she could see how special she is in the place that she's at in relation and how it relates to her own people's situation. That it was not something that's common. It's very uncommon that we have all these advantages. So white folks have the advantages, right? So it's a very uncommon situation. So once you compare yourself to your own people, you realize that this is not a real common situation for our people because white people run America, right? So once you realize that, wait a minute, I am in this place. Y'all wanted her to understand that you are in this place because I placed you there. And you need to recognize that you are special there. And because I placed you there, not only are you special, but you are superior there. This was a key point that he wanted me to really understand so that I can give you the message and make you understand that our mindsets are wrong. You see, we could never really develop our own nation if the highest aspirations we have as a people is to be like white people, is to do what white people are doing. Because even if you achieve the status of getting and fitting in with white people, you're still a slave. White people, all they're going to do is say, well, welcome, and finally, we've been here for hundreds of years. You're still at a disadvantage. You can never really have your own nation. We cannot build our own nation with the highest aspirations that we have is to do what white folks have already been doing. So you have to realize that when Yah has placed you in a situation, you are special. And so he wanted the lady to make her children understand that you're not there just to fit in, to recognize that they are special in their position. And not only special, but they are superior because Yah placed them there. Not because they killed off people, not because they enslaved people. No, because Yah placed them there from the condition of their own people. The comparisons need to be made from where he brought you from, not from where white people are. Because you will be watered down. You won't be able to see the hand of Yah placing you there, and you'll lose power understanding that you are there because of him and his hand. That gives you power. Yah with you makes you superior in your position. And it's important that we understand that that's how he wants us to think. Somebody says, well, you're not supposed to think you're more superior than anybody. Well, that's untrue. As far as Yah is concerned, you must understand that wherever he places you, wherever his power puts you, it automatically makes you superior because of him. Do you understand that? Because Yah has placed you, you are superior. If Yah is with a dog, the dog is superior. If Yah is with a fish, the fish. If Yah is with an ant, the ant is superior. So that's what he's trying to make you understand. So now, Once you are in that place that you know Yah has placed you in, and you recognize that you are special, and because Yah placed you there, you are superior, then it makes you have an accountability for why you're there. You understand? See, while the two little girls were going to school, fitting in, they had no accountability to their people because they were just worrying about this idea of achieving this level of success by being where white people are. They didn't really have an accountability to their people. This thing connects together. Once you know Yah has placed you somewhere, it makes you accountable. It gives you a thought process of Yah has placed me here, and it makes you realize that there's a reason behind that. And the reason is not just you. So he wanted the two little girls to be in that school empowered and not watered down just to fit in. Not feeling like, oh, white folks has done us a favor for us being here. You understand? Because you could never develop your own nation with that type of thinking. Remember, the problem with black people, because we've been indoctrinated through this 400 years of curse, of slavery, is that we believe the highest achievement for us is to do what white folks have already been doing for hundreds of years. See, that is a defeatist mentality. You could never rise to a greater level. Yah cannot use you with a mindset like that. You must understand with Yah you are superior. Because the platform needs to be created for him to come in, to take us to another level. How does he do that? How does Yah take us to another level? If you know that you are superior, then you leave yourself open for greater inventions. You understand? You are not going to be pacified by thinking, well, white folks have already created all this stuff, or they've already invented this. You won't even have the mind to think of something greater if all your achievement or if your thought process is to achieve where white folks are. You're trying to achieve a medium. So it's important that you understand that Yah mixed with anything makes it greater. Hallelujah. That Yah mixed with anything makes it greater and superior. So you Hebrew people, black people, understand when Yah has placed you somewhere, it is for you to understand that not only are you special, that you are superior in that position. And you are supposed to relish in that fact. And from that superior disposition that you have, then Yah can come in and grow you to whatever he wants you to do. There's newer and there are inventions out there that we're supposed to create. I don't walk around looking at America thinking that, wow, this is all there is. No, I don't think like that. I know that the nation, the reclaimed nation of the Hebrew people, that seed of Abraham that God spoke to Abraham about will rise and it will be greater than whatever this country has produced. But the mindset has to be prepared for Yah to come in and to begin to transition us into a greater level. But it takes the thought process. So with the two little girls and the mother, they just felt the highest achievement was where they were at. And so they fit in and they were watered down. All right? That wasn't big enough for Yahweh. She needed to understand that she was special, that Yah, the mother, that she was special, and not only special, but superior, because then that would push the agenda further. And then she could teach that to her children, that you are in this place because Yah has placed you there. That's the key. If you separate yourself from Yah's placement, then you water down. It is you remembering who you are as a Hebrew that connects you to Yah placing you. And once Yah places you, it's to get busy. It's to do something greater. It's to push it further. It is not for you to fit in. In any area of life, Hebrew people, let me explain something to you. Now listen, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to have a lot. Understand this. Let me just make this statement. The greatest people in the world are they that require the least amount. The weakest people in the world require the most amount of whatever. Do you understand? No, you don't. Let me explain it to you. Because Yah is such a fulfilling component in the human experience, well, let me put it in dollars and cents, right? Say for the Hebrew person, for the African American, the Hebrew, Yah gives one man $1 billion, right? For the Edomite, for white people, God gives them $1 billion, right? That's not enough for him. It is something in the DNA of Edomites that they need to continue to gather, continue to conquer, continue to consume, because they're unfulfilled. And they feel that the more I consume, I can be fulfilled. Well, that's weakness. You don't require all of that. They have taught you to believe that you require what they require to be happy, to be complete, to be full. They've taught you that. They've made you believe that you require this devouring spirit of world, so to speak, that you need to continue to devour people's lives. You need to continue to devour races and land and property and gain and gout and devour. They've taught you that you need that to be complete. They need it because they're weaker mentally and soulishly, spirit-wise. If God gives us $1 billion, we are complete in what we have, but that billion runs over to the rest of our people. It doesn't continue to store up for me individually. That's not how we were made. That's not really the makeup of the Hebrew people. The flowing over is to make sure that everybody amongst us is fine. Because we do not require continual consuming to be satisfied. Take a little guy, just for an example, right? Take a little fella, he could be 17 years old. Let's just call him 18, right? And he grew up, and his mother's, all of them were all in poverty, right? All he's known was poverty all his life. And it would seem that his life is miserable. He has all the disadvantages of being a black man, a young black man in America, right? He doesn't have access to higher education and all these things that white people say that you need to have. He doesn't have that. And one would think that his life is miserable. If the little youngster just happens to get $15,000, he'll go buy himself a little Regal and put some rims on him with a nice system. And just that simple, all of his problems are known. He will ride down the street with his music and his little Regal like he has $1 billion. It doesn't require him to have so much to be fulfilled. It requires white folks to have everything, and they're still not fulfilled. That's why they continue to get from other people and devour other people. That's why they continue to go to war. It is a continual consuming because they are weaker. I just want to teach you that. It doesn't make me racist against them or not like them. I'm just stating the facts. The facts are what it is. They continue to devour people's lives, devour nations, war, because they are incomplete people. You are complete. You don't require that much to be happy, right? That's not saying that's not saying that you can't have $1 billion, 10, 15, 20, but it says that if that is what you have, you make sure, because it's in your DNA as a Hebrew, to make sure that once that spills over, once the blessing spills over and you're full, once everybody in your family is cool, everybody you want to take care of is taken care of, it is your duty. It is something within you. It's like walking down the street that you will make sure that your people are taken care of. This is how we win. That's higher thinking. Do you understand? You are superior because Yah has placed you. I don't walk around thinking that I fit in. I'm not trying to fit in with a race of people that have done what they've done. White folks, they've done what they've done. And their season is coming to an end. Are you ready to really show the world what Yah wants to do? Are you ready for the inventions that come to you and me? Are you ready to do some phenomenal things and show the world what bliss is? Well, you must believe that you are superior because Yah has placed you. You must believe that. That's where it starts right here. Do you believe that you are superior? I do. I knew that I am superior because Yahweh has placed me here. All right. Be well. I love you. And until next time, we are evolving into our nation again. I'm excited about us as a people evolving. Be well.